Snow White, beautiful princess, evil stepmother, you know this story, jealous queen, orders huntsman, take Snow White to the woods, kill her, huntsman, kind soul, couldn't do it. Left Snow White in the woods alone. She found a cottage, 7 dwarves, they took her in. But what if the story went differently? What if Snow White found something else in the woods? Something magical, something big, something scaly? Deep in the heart of the forest lived a dragon, not a fearsome, fire-breathing beast. This dragon was different. Her scales shimmered emerald green. Her eyes shone like molten gold. She was wise and ancient. Her name was Emerald. Emerald guarded the forest, protected its creatures, listened to the whispers of the trees. She was a guardian, a protector, and she was lonely. Until the day she smelled something new in her forest, the scent of apples and fear, the scent of a princess lost. Snow White, lost and afraid, stumbled through the trees. Tears streamed down her face. She didn't see the dragon at first, not until Emerald shifted on her perch, scales glinting in the dappled sunlight. Snow White gasped, fear coiled in her stomach. But Emerald spoke. Her voice was a deep rumble, like stones tumbling down a mountain. "Do not be afraid, little one," Emerald said. "What brings you to my forest?" Snow White, heart-pounding, told her story. The evil queen, the huntsman, the fear that followed her like a shadow. Emerald listened. When Snow White finished, the dragon dipped her head. "You are safe here," she rumbled. "I will protect you." From that day on, Snow White was not alone. Emerald watched over her. She brought her food. She kept her warm with her fiery breath. She shared her wisdom of the forest. Snow White, no longer afraid, grew brave. She explored the woods with Emerald. She learned the language of the animals. She discovered a strength she never knew she had. The evil queen's huntsman returned to the castle, lied to the queen, said Snow White was dead. But the queen knew the truth. She could feel it in her black heart. Snow White was alive, and the queen would find her. Section 5, The Queen's Fury and the Dragon's Defiance. The queen disguised herself, became an old peddler woman. She went to the forest, searching, always searching. Emerald saw her coming, smelled the queen's envy and rage. "Be careful, little one," Emerald warned Snow White. "Danger approaches." The queen, disguised, found Snow White, offered her a gift, a beautiful red apple. Snow White hesitated, remembered Emerald's warning. "Don't be afraid, dearie," the queen croaked. "Take a bite." But before Snow White could touch the apple, Emerald roared. A sound like thunder shook the trees. The queen stumbled back, fear flashing in her eyes. Section 6, A Bite of Apple, a Burst of Flame. The queen, startled, dropped the apple. It rolled towards Snow White. In a moment of defiance, Snow White bent down and took a bite. If the queen wanted her afraid, she would show no fear. Instantly the world went black. The apple, poisoned, did its work, but the queen's triumph was short-lived. Emerald, seeing Snow White fall, unleashed a torrent of fire. The queen screamed, her disguise melting away. She fled the dragon's wrath, vowing revenge, vowing to return. But for now, Snow White was safe. Emerald, her heart filled with a protectiveness she'd never known, nudged Snow White gently with her snout. She would keep the princess safe. She would find a way to break the curse. She would not let her go. Section 7, Happily Ever After with Scales and Feathers. Word of the dragon and the princess spread, reached the ears of a prince, not just any prince. This one was kind and brave. He rode to the forest, not to slay the dragon, but to help her. He found Snow White, still asleep, guarded by the emerald dragon. Touched by their bond, he knew what to do. He leaned down and kissed Snow White. The enchantment shattered. Snow White awoke. The prince, the princess, and the dragon. They became the best of friends. The prince built a castle on the edge of the forest, a place where humans and dragons could live in peace. Section 8, The Dragon's Legacy, a new kind of magic. Emerald, no longer lonely, shared her wisdom with the kingdom. She taught the people about the magic of the forest. She showed them that dragons were not beasts to be feared, but creatures to be respected. Snow White, forever grateful, ruled with kindness and courage. She established a sanctuary for magical creatures, a place where they could live free from fear. The evil queen was never seen again. Some say she met her end in the dragon's fire. Others whisper that she is still out there, plotting her revenge. But no one fears her anymore, not with Emerald watching over them. And so, the story of Snow White took an unexpected turn. It became a tale of friendship, courage, and the power of love. It taught that even in the darkest of forests, hope can take flight. And sometimes the most unlikely of friendships can blossom in the most extraordinary ways. Snow White and Emerald, a princess and her dragon. Their bond, forged in fire, would forever change the kingdom. And their story, passed down through generations, would remind everyone that even the smallest spark of courage can ignite the greatest adventures. The end.